Paracelsus said, "All substances are poisons, and there is none which is not a poison. The right dose differentiates a poison from a remedy." And this is a really powerful statement. And what we are talking about today is the damage that is done by accumulated toxins that we face in our environment every day that are seemingly innocuous. We get up every day, we brush our teeth, take a shower, shampoo, maybe have some coffee, possibly cook ourselves some breakfast. If not, we're out the door. We usually pick up coffee on the way to work, and maybe even we stop by a fast food restaurant and pick up some breakfast. There are over 90,000 chemicals in our environment today. And according to the CDC, the average person exposes themselves to approximately 212 chemicals every single day. Now, with over 90,000 chemicals to talk about, obviously we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the majority of them, but I want to focus in on some of the ones that you're exposed to every single day, that although they may not last in the body for years like some, there are some chemicals that will stay in the body for over 40 years, and there's just not really any way to get rid of them. I'm talking about the ones that we are exposed to every single day, seemingly innocent, but they are hijacking our hormones and our health. Today I'm going to help you take some steps to get rid of those chemicals in an easy fashion and have yourself living cleaner and greener all around your house. Before we get started, I just want to clear up two terms. Toxic is capable of causing injury or death by means of something like lead or arsenic or cyanide, okay? But when we look at a toxin is toxic substance that is produced by a living thing, plant or an animal or something to that nature. So we would think of things like mold or yeast. I'm going to tell you where those might be lurking in your household that you may not have thought of and help you to get rid of those as well. These imposters wreak absolute havoc on our entire metabolic system because hormones are like a symphony. They play beautiful music together when they're working right, but if somebody goes off key or overpowers somebody else, ooh, it's not pretty. The other thing about these nasty chemicals, because they have hormonal effects, also affect how our body makes and stores fat. And I'm going to be blunt. You can't look around today without noticing that the majority of our population is overweight. And this is a serious health crisis. If we look at most men today have breasts. There aren't too many that don't. Even our children are developing breasts at such an early age. And I'm not talking about just girls. I'm talking about boys as well. The whole hormonal makeup of our children today is completely different from what it was 50 years ago. As a matter of fact, you can look around and just see that nobody looks the way they did 50 years ago. Obesity is an epidemic, and we are numb to it because we are so used to it. You see, we have an organ that's particularly sensitive to these chemicals, and it's like a vicious cycle. And do you know what that organ is? Nope, it's not your liver. It's your body fat. Body fat is an organ, and fat makes estrogen, and estrogen makes fat. So it's pretty easy to see that if we are taking chemicals into our body that are creating excess estrogen, that excess estrogen is making fat. That fat gets stored with those chemicals because it doesn't know what to do with them, so it puts them in a storage tank until it can figure it out. Well, while that chemical is in that storage tank, it's making more estrogens, causing more estrogenic disruption. It's, heading for the doorway and it's getting in. And it's, like I said, it's a vicious cycle. Fat makes estrogen and estrogen makes fat. Now, most of us are pretty aware that body fat, especially around the middle, which is called visceral fat, it's the fat around your organs, can predispose somebody to metabolic syndrome, which is just several steps away from full-blown type 2 diabetes. So in turn, excess body fat calls out to the body for more insulin. Remember, the hormones talk to each other. They're a symphony. And as the insulin surges, that causes the body to not be able to shut off the fat-making process. So my key takeaway today is that it may not be the food that you're eating that's causing you hormonal disruption, fibroids, painful periods, tender breasts, menopausal symptoms that are out of control. It may just be the things in your environment that you're exposing yourself to every day. And it's pretty simple to decrease these. So you'll want to move on to part 2 of this video, which talks about reducing exposures to BPA.